Hello and welcome to the Screen Chronicles. I'm Colby. With me as always is Steve, and we're coming at you today with the Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 4 recap, review, breakdown. It gives us a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And before we get into the nitty-gritty details, I say we kind of start off with a non-spoiler review, and then we'll jump right into it.
Yeah.
So
I really thought we were going to get some more building stuff this episode, and it started out like we weren't going to.
exactly.
And then we definitely did.
We did. I was a little worried at the beginning. So I saw that the episode was called The Siege. And I was like, that's epic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we love our medieval sieges in our other shows that we enjoy watching. So I was like, The Siege, that sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning kind of started a little bit playful, a little bit goofy. We'll get into why. And I was kind of thinking like, oh, is this going to be kind of a throwaway episode? Just to kill time. Turned out it was not.
Yeah.
The beginning was a little goofy, but it turned into a pretty rockin' episode, a pretty good episode if you're into Star Wars lore and theories, because there's definitely dives into some theories that connect the trilogies too, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people were thinking that the fifth episode was going to be the one where Ahsoka shows up. So if you had watched the third episode of the season, they name drop her at the end of there. So a lot of people were thinking, oh, that's his next trip then. But then I was kind of thinking, and I think a lot of other people too, when they heard that Dave Filoni was directing the fifth episode and that Carl Weathers was directing this one, and Dave Filoni wrote the fifth episode, that we were like, all right, well, that's probably going to be the Ahsoka one.
Right, because Dave Filoni was the Clone Wars guy.
Yeah.
So where Ahsoka was the main character.
Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people were thinking maybe we're going to get another, not overarching plot sort of episode, as some people would say, a throwaway episode. But even the ones that people say are throwaway, that don't push the plot, I still enjoyed the ice planet spider thing. And and I think that episode, the characters that it sets up kind of are going to be important too for the plot of this season.
Who are you talking about?
The pilots.
The pilots, yeah. We'll talk more about that because we get to meet another one of those pilots in this, or meet him again in this episode. Yeah. So I don't know if I have anything else to say before the spoilers. Do you?
No. Generally, I liked it. So yeah. I think we need to get into the spoilers so we can talk about this stuff we're covering up here.
So, spoiler alert. Let's get into it. This episode, again, kind of starts a little bit goofy, a little bit funny. Like, for example, first of all, we get to meet Cara Dune again.
Yes.
And she has like an amazing entrance to the season. I was kind of wondering when she was going to show up. I thought she is one of the faces of the show, and she wasn't in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I thought there were going to be some main characters throughout the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, when are we going to get, Carl Weathers and Gina Carano back, or Grief Karga and Cara Dune? Yeah,
we get to meet her, and she just goes ham on these butt chin people.
I was going to say these Balchinians, as they're called in Men in Black. Yeah. He's a Balchinian,
and they were just some outlaws from the planet. Where
she is the type of aliens that were like hassling Luke. Remember that there was like one ugly guy, and then there was another alien with, I think he was a Butchinian.
Yeah, I think it's the same species.
I was like, they look familiar, you know.
I think it is the same species, and she kicks their butts. Oh my god!
Yeah,
she goes ham, and this little ferret meerkat mix is also just like they're trying to eat it. They're just trying to eat it.
They were just going to chop its head off. Just like,
they're like, come here. Oh, you're going to be so tasty. It was like a little bit like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like,
and why didn't they just get a real ferret? Because it looked so much like a ferret, and like it looked so puppety too.
It looked like a taxidermy. It looks taxidermied sometimes, but
yeah, it looked like a taxidermy ferret.
Hey man, there's everything in space. All right.
Yeah.
It's just
they could have everything we have.
But apparently that thing breathes fire.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
It does?
I saw this in one of the Star Wars theory videos,
Yeah.
and they show that one of the guys' faces is burnt when they're leaving. And I guess there's some legend thing when this creature it's not like the first time this creature appears, and it's been known to breathe fire.
Huh. I'm going to have to go back and watch
So a little,
that.
yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think they show it breathing fire in the episode, but they do show some guy's face burned.
Oh, okay.
Like when they're leaving. So, again, that's a little bit of conjecture. That's just a little bit of like, did they actually use legends, or was that just a blast from Cara Dune? Did she just blast someone in the face?
I don't know. Yeah, she's operating too. Cara Dune, Gina Carano, is operating as the marshal now.
Yeah,
for the planet that they were originally on, the first Navarro.
Yeah,
and I can believe she kicked some ass. First of all, she was UFC or MMA of some level. I don't know if it was UFC back then.
Yeah,
she was fighting, but and she's a built chick. Like,
is it me or does she look like even bigger this season?
That's what I was gonna say. She looks a little more built.
So big, like this season. Like,
I was like, yeah, she could probably kick some dudes' asses. Yeah.
I mean, one of the points is she needed like Mando's help to do what they do later, which we'll talk about. I was like, why do you need his help?
That's what I was saying.
You. But anyway, we come to find out a little bit later that she is now the marshal here. She's working with Kreef Karga, where he is. What's his role on the planet? What would you call it?
I'm not even sure. I guess
he's just running things though.
He runs shit.
He runs shit.
He was the head of the guild before in the first season, and now he seems like he's just sort of the guy who's like leading the renovations for the planet, essentially.
Yep. Yep. And they're trying to clean stuff up. They're trying to clean everything up, which is funny because like he was like an outlaw kind of like bounty hunter guy at the guild. But he's
I still think he is still pretty like profit and that motivated. He's when they finally meet Mando and they bring him on, they say, hey, we need you to destroy this last Imperial base. It'll get rid of the last Imperial thing. But then he says, so that sounds like all good and like, good motivations and everything. But then he's like, but then our trade will increase and we'll be a solid trade planet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's still money in that. Which I mean, that's how most people are, though, in the show. Even like Bo-Katan, she's like, I want to restore Mandalore or whatever. But then she's willing to, screw over other people who help her out. You know what I mean? And
Totally.
So like everyone's kind of got their own thing, which I like because no one's just perfect.
Star Wars always has the politics built in, which is cool. Adds another dimension to the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get to go back and remember Mando's ship's been through a lot this season. So he's still trying to make repairs. And there's like a small little chute that has some wires down at the far end that Mando needs Baby Yoda to crawl into and fix. And this was kind of a weird, funny scene that was cute, but also like,
to me was like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. When they're having Groot, especially when he's like holding the bomb. But then anytime like Rocket was trying to have Groot do something, like when he was trying to like had him go get the fin for, I forget the blue guy's name, but like he kept coming back with the wrong thing. That's it, Hondu. He kept coming back with the wrong thing. Like he came back with like a guy's hand one time and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like Baby Yoda is being trusted
to fix a ship.
Just kind of blows my mind a little bit. But Baby Yoda is being trusted to connect some wires back there. And I guess it must not have been that important, but because he messed up.
He crosses the fuses or whatever.
And Mando's just so like frustrated trying to get the blue wire where the red one was and the red one where the blue one was. But like he starts rambling on and like I'm starting to get confused a little bit what he's saying. And Baby Yoda is just like holding these things. No, don't put them together. What'd you think? This was kind of a funny scene.
I thought it was funny. I liked it. But like I said, it felt so Guardians of the Galaxy to me. And there's another scene later too when they're flying the ship, which was awesome too, by the way. I love the music when that was happening and all that stuff. But Baby Yoda like throws up.
Yeah.
Same thing like that Baby Groot did when they like did the time warp thing.
Oh yeah.
Or not time warp, but they tried to make too many jumps at once. And, like they passed like Stan Lee and all these other crazy planets, and they got like scrambled. And at the end, he just kind of and it's just this green throw up. But for Baby Yoda, he had like this blue throw up because he's eating the blue.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like, this feels like it's definitely Baby Groot.
It feels a little bit not Mandalorian style. It felt like a different comedy style for the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I would say.
It was funny.
But it was still funny. I'm open to that. I know every episode has different directors. Carl Weathers did this one. I'm totally open to that. So anyway, yeah, he zaps himself. Baby Yoda. He was just so cute though the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he must be. So we know he's fairly intelligent then, if he's able to move wires and listen to directions and stuff.
Well, I don't know how intelligent he is. I mean,
intelligent enough to know no for don't eat the eggs. You know,
he's not that smart. He kept eating those eggs, dude.
That's what I'm saying. He should have been able to understand no for that.
Yeah.
But you know what else I thought was cool though? After this, Mando like lifts up his helmet for a drink.
Yes.
Which was another thing too. I was like, how does the dude eat when he's around people then? You know?
So they're answering all they must have watched our podcast from it's like because
our season 1 it came out right before the first episode came out. So they're like, all right guys, we gotta revise some episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
The Screen Chronicles season 1.
Yeah. They want to know how Mando eats. They want to know why some Mandalorians take the masks off or not. So that's why we need to go back and make these last minute edits before the release. And they did. And, props to them.
You're welcome, Disney. You're welcome.
Yeah. No, these are questions that everybody had, I think, after season 1. And I like how they're like addressing them head on.
Yeah. And he just lifts up a little bit, just like to hear.
So is this showing that he is becoming a little bit more comfortable around Baby Yoda? Or maybe even that after meeting those other Mandalorian and realizing that there is another way to be a true Mandalorian, that he's still not going to take the helmet off, but he's going to do a little bit more than he's ever done before.
Yeah, I was wondering both of those things too. Or is he just like, is it okay to eat? Is it okay to lift it up maybe to eat or something?
Yeah, is that?
I don't know.
When he first did it, I was just like, "Whoa, like too much." It's like in high school when like a girl like wears like a spaghetti strap instead.
Yep.
They're like, "Whoa!" The teacher's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Too much skin.
Put that shoulder away.
Put that shoulder away, Mando. Put that chin away." No, but it was cool to see.
Yeah, I don't know, because I definitely think his beliefs might be challenged at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We might see him take the helmet off, because that was definitely a little arc in the first season with the fourth episode there when he first met Cara Dune. Which again, it's the fourth episode. He's meeting Cara Dune again, so I don't know. Must be a callback to that, I guess. But
we'll see if she's gonna show up again in the season. But I hope so. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think she will, because we'll get to that. We'll get to what happened at the end of the episode.
But anyway, back to what I was saying though, is he met that one woman who was, instantly in love with him, when he first met her, and he was debating maybe taking off the helmet, staying there, but he had to keep going, you know what I mean? And then at the end too, he decided to lift up his helmet to let the droid save his life, and now he's meeting Mandalorians who they can just take their helmet off whenever. So I don't know if that's going to be something that changes what he thinks,
Maybe. Or maybe he just feels that near Baby Yoda, he can do those things.
That too.
Maybe, we'll find out as that develops. We'll find out. But basically he says, we need, before we can go, he doesn't say this, before we can go meet Ahsoka, whichever all the fans want to see, we need to go get help from our friends on Navarro, get our ship fixed. So they go down there, and there's kind of like a nice reunion between Greef Karga and Cara Dune, and I feel like everybody is highlighting how cute Baby Yoda is this season in the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like everyone who sees Baby Yoda in the show is like, oh, he's actually so cute. He is like, so Greef Karga does that like immediately. He's like, give me him. And he like takes him, and
Which is funny too, because even my girlfriend said this, from the first season, he was one who was like, turn that baby over, Mando, give him to us. You know what I mean?
Remember, the child saved him.
Yeah, but he saved
the last step
his life though. Yeah,
saved his life, so he's got to
force heal.
And that like changed Greef Karga at the time. It kind of like shifted his alliances, and
because he was going to betray them.
Yeah, he was going to.
They show these repair guys though.
Yeah,
and they're definitely shady, guys. And it's just like, is no one looking over there and seeing them?
He's just like
evil they look right now.
Yeah. One even made like a snake sound when it turned around.
Yeah,
like
bad guy noise.
Snakes equal bad, evil things in shows and movies. Okay, so
I have to say, like right here, from like when he first got outside of town, to me the effects looked kind of wonky.
Oh yeah,
yeah. To me, like I could tell that it was like they have like these projection screens, I guess. But like to me, I was just like, it kind of just looks like a little like wonky in the background or something. I don't know. Like the distance looked weird. I don't know. That was the first time, because normally, like I feel like the effects this season have been like a step up from the first season.
And I would even say in the second half of this episode, it's like an extra step up.
Oh yeah, well,
talk about that. But okay, that's interesting. I'll have to go back and watch that part.
Yeah, it just looked a little wonky to me. I don't know why.
Watch with a little bit more critical eye that part. But he's like, I'll get my two best guys on it, and he turns around to these. The first two guys he sees, you guys, fix the ship 100%. I love how easy it is for them to fix the ship. Like, it's just like
when the calamari dude just like put ropes on it.
He's just like, when he saw the ship, he was like, yeah, there ain't no way, dude. Like, I don't even know if I can fuel your ship with gas, man. Yeah, they go into the town. At this point of the episode, I'm thinking like, okay, we're getting some nostalgia, like some. We're meeting people again.
Season 1.
Okay, nothing's really happening yet. We bring Baby Yoda to this classroom where there's like a protocol droid like C-3PO teaching all these kids. And it's kind of cool to see that kids like Greef Karga's started a school on the planet. He's talking about all these great things he's done for the planet. How Kara's been cleaning up the streets. We get this scene with Baby Yoda. Cara Dune's like, yeah, you can keep him here. We don't want to take him where we're going. He'll be safe here. Yeah, my word. And Mando trusts her. And we get this scene where Baby Yoda is in class and all the kids are snickering because he's cute and stuff. and the protocol droid's up there just trying to teach class. And Baby Yoda sees this kid snacking on some blue...
Some people are saying macaroons.
Macaroons, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess.
To me, have you ever seen an Oreo that's like dipped in like chocolate or like deep fried?
That's what it looked like to me. Yeah,
look kind of like that, but blue. Because people eat and drink blue things in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some milk in the morning. It's gonna be blue instead. Yeah. You're gonna have some whiskey. It's gonna be blue. Right. Like that's the way it is.
It's just the way it is. And so Baby Yoda, like this kid, is just eating, and he sees this. Baby Yoda puts out his little hand, and the kid's just like, no, this is my blue Oreo macaroon mixture that I'm snacking on. You get out of here. We all know that kid in class who's the moocher. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you got to pack a gum. You got to sneak it in. You got to sneak it in your mouth because you know that kid's going to be like, hey, can I have a piece of gum?
Remember the time I gave you gum 3 years ago? Remember
that? There's always that kid in class, and Baby Yoda is that kid in this class.
Yes.
So
Baby Yoda is just a gluttonous dude. You know what I mean?
No.
He cannot be satisfied. He's always eating.
I know. Anyway, the kid says no, and Baby Yoda uses the Force, which also made me think, like, okay, if I had the Force, I would totally be doing that stuff all the time.
Oh my God! I'm
like,
so glad I don't have the Force. I would just
see that, like the kid, like
all the time.
Just a kid 2 rows away has juicy fruit in their back pocket. I'd just be like, give me that juicy fruit. At lunch, I'd just be stealing kids' mozzarella sticks. You know what I'm saying?
I'd always have like the Force music song play though, like the music I was playing when Luke was on Dagobah.
I wish they made it that dramatic.
Every time. Every time I was like, gonna steal someone's food.
You mean like the same song they replayed in Rise of Skywalker when Luke brought the ship out again?
Yeah.
They played the same song. Yeah.
Yep.
That's hilarious. So anyway, Baby Yoda steals it, and he's just going to be munching on those the rest of the episode, really.
Yeah. It was really cool, too. I saw this in someone else, though, or a meme or something. There was the statue of the IG droid that helped, who sacrificed his life, essentially, at the end of the first season.
We think it's IG-11.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure that would make sense that Kreef Karga would have like a monument to him.
Yeah.
After
there's a statue of him out in the center of the...
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw that.
I like that it has its own mythology now. This show has its own history.
And that's not something. That's not something they showed a shot of. That was just in the background.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love those little details.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but so then Mando goes with the two of them then to Grief's place, and we see the blue guy, who I thought was done forever, that Mando captured in the first episode of the
very
season
first
1.
time we meet Mando, he captured this dude.
And he just like does like the equivalent of like shitting his pants when he sees Mando.
He shivers for real. He like he sends like ice particles off of him.
Well, like how squids like shoot ink, you know what I mean? Like when they get scared.
He just shudders
That's
cool.
Shot out some stuff.
I like that.
That was funny.
I just think of like the creative team at Disney coming up with these things.
Mm.
That's got to be so much fun. It's got to be so much fun. Anyway, so he's pretty much the same kind of guy. He was talking about the ship. He's like, the ship's not registered, but I think it belongs to. And Mando walks in and he's like, oh crap. Remember, this guy was frozen in carbonite.
Yeah.
And he still has lingering effects. I guess he's blind in one eye.
He says he can't see out of one eye still.
Yeah. Which it goes back to episode 6, on Return of the Jedi, when Han Solo talks about how he lost his vision for a few hours after being unfrozen from the carbonite.
Yeah, but he still managed to kill Boba Fett.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Now he killed Boba Fett.
Now he hasn't. Yeah. But
I feel like that happens in Star Wars a lot. You think something's happened. You know what I mean?
And then they bring him back.
And then they bring him back. Like Darth Maul, they bring him back.
It's like comic books. It's like comic books. They're like,
I'm a little bit more, I'm a little bit more okay with this one, just because of how lame his death was.
Yeah.
The Darth Maul one, I still sometimes have trouble accepting, because that was such an amazing moment for Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was such a monumental moment to defeat a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
And then to bring him back, of course, he's never the same after that.
It kind of delegitimizes that feat that he did at the end of episode 1 when he killed him. He got to skip the trials then for becoming a Jedi, and it was for Qui-Gon, and it really goes to show like Obi-Wan's ability to beat up Sith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they Rebels still has him kill Darth Maul, and he has him kill him like in lightning quick, which was pretty cool. But like, I still feel weird about Darth Maul being back. He was an awesome character. Again, he was one I wanted more of because of how cool he looked and how awesome he moved. And Ray Park, the guy who played him, flipping around and stuff, like he was definitely someone I wanted more of. But it still feels weird that he brought him back.
Maybe if they hadn't had his death in episode 1 in such like a, okay, nobody survives that kind of way.
Get cut in half and thrown down a bottomless pit.
You know what I mean? So anyway,
but Boba Fett, like, you go into a creature that takes 1,000 years to digest. Like,
you never know. I mean, a crate dragon could come out of nowhere at any time and change things up. You know what I'm saying? I can buy that.
I buy that. Statistically, it makes sense.
It's more, it's more
Palpatine
probable.
Too. While we're talking about people being brought back, Palpatine was brought back,
and it sort of well, we're going to talk a little bit about this from this Mando episode.
Yeah, so we're going to get to that too.
But yeah, you're right. It kind of delegitimizes like
Luke and Darth Vader's
Luke
arc.
and Darth Vader.
what they did at the end of Return of the Jedi.
I'm with you, bro.
Listen to our sequel talk.
Listen to the sequel talk. We could rant about this. We could rant about this all day.
It was over 3 hours, so we definitely could. That was after it was edited down.
We love Star Wars. So anyway,
but Grief is like, hey, we got to get rid of this Imperial base. There's only like 2 stormtroopers there again.
Yeah, I said there's a skeleton crew, but mostly it's abandoned, right?
Yeah. So
but they don't know what it was for.
Easy job.
Yeah.
They drive there.
Mando just says yes to everyone. He's just like, yeah, help everybody. So yeah, they get there and they use the guy's speeder, the blue guy. His name's is it Mithril?
Yeah, that's it.
And he's just complaining the whole time. He's like, he's got a 350 years of servitude to Kreef Karga, following being unfrozen from carbonite.
Yeah, I think he stole from Grief. I think is what he did.
Yeah,
and I think that's why he owns him now.
Yeah. So
they get there though, and they have him unlock the door, which is why they brought him. And Mando's like looking up top, and he's just like, you know what? I don't have to wait on the elevator. I can just go there. Yeah. And so he goes there and he throws off a stormtrooper. I
love that. It's like, okay, there are stormtroopers here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, all right.
Mm-hmm. It was like, all right, it's not going to be as easy as you thought.
Yeah.
And then it's funny too, because they get the elevator open, then they go up. But then the blue guy's like, I'm going to wait here. And they first got him to go there. They're like, well, take off 10 years or 100.
Said 100 years off of your, indentured servitude or whatever. And it's like, dang, that's a good deal.
That's a good deal, man.
All you got to do is drive to the front door. He didn't really give him an option, though.
Then they get there, and as they're going in, they're like, yeah, you can wait out here. But then the lava, after we blow this place up, is going to melt you, and you're going to die. And he's just like, all right, I'll go with you. But then they knew that all along. So, they either knew that he was going to melt or that he was going to have to come with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But they get to the top, and Mando's taking care of business on kind of the, I guess that's the launch platform there.
Yeah. There's just bodies.
Which, by the way, I love this setting. Yeah. This reminded me a lot of kind of a Jedi Fallen Order type feel.
Yes.
Level, I can't remember the name of the planet. But where, which planet is it? Where it's got the Imperial bases just throughout, kind of built into the mountains. And
was it Zenith?
Zepho. Yeah, it was on Zepho.
Yeah, there was ice parts, there's grass parts.
There was also mountainous.
There was
terrain,
black, granite looking rock with all the stormtrooper base. I got the same vibe.
It just kind of felt like we're in a level of Jedi Fallen Order, and I've seen other people compare it to other Star Wars video games, but that's what it felt like. Mm-hmm. It's this is made for a Star Wars video game, and that's pretty awesome.
I love the planet. I love there's different environments on it. Even though it's a giant rockish sort of lava planet, it still has slightly different environments, which I think is more realistic than one entire sand dune planet or one entire ice planet,
Yeah.
At least it has some varied stuff to it.
Absolutely. And so when you go into this place, it looks pretty much like an Imperial kind of base, which is always a cool design inside.
Yeah. It's got that classic feel to it.
Yeah. And sure enough, there's just stormtroopers walking around, and a couple walk by and they're able to sneak by them without them even noticing. It's like, dudes, don't you guys have any gut intuition? There's people walking behind me right now.
Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers, man.
Stormtroopers.
And there was a few what's it? Oh my gosh. A New Hope. There's a few New Hope references too. So they get to the place where they want to basically self-destruct this facility, and you just turn off the lava regulator thing.
No, of course.
Which is remember in Revenge of the Sith too, there's an option to turn off the shields to a place that's mining lava. It's why is this an option?
Yeah.
Maybe it's so no one gets the secrets or the data. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
But they had like one of those like center things that like Obi-Wan climbed on to disable the tractor beam from A New Hope, and Blue Guy, they make Blue Guy get on it again. They're like, well, I'll take off like I don't know, about
30.
maybe,
I think he said 30 years.
yeah, he's like, all right, 30. So like it's like he's taking off a little bit less and less each time. He's like, I've already got him inside, like he's like, all right, climb. And he's like, there's no guardrail, which is something I thought too when Obi-Wan was going around. I was like, if the guys want to do maintenance on here, they just have to like cling to the side.
Yeah, if you have to go pull one of those levers, you got to like inch your way and like
you can't access it from the front.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they have droids do it usually. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like you could come up with an explanation for that, I guess. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of
it's funny that they acknowledge it though.
Yeah, it is. They're just acknowledging all of the things that people, the little complaints people have.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But it's still, it doesn't break the fourth wall too much, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
So they turn off the lava regulator and it starts to boil up. And they're like, all right, let's get the heck out of here. And they're heading out. And they run into stormtroopers, so they have to shoot up the place. And then
pretty cool.
It was pretty sweet action they have. And then they end up getting to a room, though, where there's these two guys who aren't in stormtrooper uniform.
They're wearing the same kind of attire the guy from season 1 was wearing.
Yeah. And we thought he was a cloner, is what we kind of got.
Because he had a similar logo to the Camino logo that the clones were wearing in episode 2.
Attack of the
Clones. Now, somebody did a side-by-side, and now it's not an exact logo, but it's very reminiscent. I mean, it's got like one line and a small line, like kind of like an I or something, letter I or something, like one long line.
Well, it's the Empire though now too, right? So like, they might have just changed it up, you know.
Yeah, but it looks very similar to the Camino logo, which are the cloners. And these guys, like as soon as they come in, as Mando and the crew come in, they like shoot up the console so they don't get the info.
Yeah, they don't even try and shoot them first. They shoot the computer first.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like Mando and them are like, well, just shoot them.
Yeah, they just shoot them real quick. No problem. And they come into this room and
a bunch of blue tanks.
There's like blue tanks with creatures floating in them. And they were kind of weirded out by this. Like, hold on, we need to figure out what's going on here. So they have Mithril go and do what he does on the computer system, try to figure it out, try to hack his way in there. Meanwhile, they do a close up on this tank. Okay, we don't know for sure who it is, but it looks very reminiscent, this creature, of Snoke.
It was some sort of weird, deformed creature. Like,
so if you pause it and do a zoom in, the creature does have a scar like on his head, and like you can just make out a little small ear over here, and then a very kind of decrepit body.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering, is this Snoke?
Or a clone of Snoke?
Or Sidious? Because apparently the novelized version of Rise of Skywalker, Sidious is a clone of the original Sidious.
Right.
Which I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but it's not good.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because anyway, they basically get this transmission from the guy from season 1, the cloner. And
working on Baby Yoda.
He's working on Baby Yoda.
When Mando comes in and decides to save the child.
Mm-hmm. And he gives a little explanation. I guess he's talking to Grand Moff Gideon about how they actually had good results in one of the clones for like a night, but then it was bad after that. And it's just not as simple, you know. So it sounds like they're trying to take the blood of a Force-sensitive being and inject it into one of these clones.
Yeah, I think they said we need more compound M or something.
Which is
like that.
Well,
which we think is metachlorians.
Metachlorians, right. We need more compound M.
Because metachlorians, if you remember, some people didn't like this. I kind of don't like it either. When Qui-Gon took Anakin's blood sample, he's like, his metachlorian count is off the chart. Like it was like a Dragon Ball Z thing. And it was like, what? Like the Force is, everyone has the Force. It's just some people are able to tap into it more, so I don't know. I'm kind of feeling a little iffy about this. And then the clones, I'm just,
we end up finding out that Snoke was actually a clone.
Yeah, we also
in Raza Skywalker.
Yeah, they had like a whole tank of Snokes.
Yeah,
just
that's why I think this could be Snoke in this tank. This could be just one of those versions of Snoke that they're just trying experiments on.
Yeah,
look up the image again, because he does have a pretty significant indent in his head.
Yeah, I just couldn't tell though if like the cloning had failed or what was going on though, because it
sounds like it had failed. It sounded like the experiment had failed, like it had worked a little bit, then it failed. But he basically says in this transmission, like, we know, like, we don't have enough compound M, we need more, and the only way to do that is to get our donor again, the donor being the child. Because he said Baby Yoda. It could only take a certain amount the first time they got him, because otherwise it would have killed Baby Yoda.
Yeah, but can't take too much blood out of something this big.
Mm-hmm. So this answers our question. What the heck were they doing with him in season 1 when they had him?
Yeah, they were taking his blood.
Yeah, we were taking his blood. We thought they were trying to clone him or something because he had the cloner stuff. So,
or but was he a clone? Is what we were wondering.
Was he a clone?
Apparently, he's just a child who's Force sensitive, and they're like, let's get that Force goodie out of him and put it into our stuff.
Yeah.
So this could tie in Snoke. This could tie in Sidious.
Yeah, I think it does. And I think this is kind of like we're getting into some of the theory of why and how Sidious was able to come back and how Snoke was anything at all,
Mm-hmm.
I think Mandalorian might help explain exactly how these cloning processes worked, and we got a lot of answers this episode.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that end of it, because I like to regard the sequel trilogy as fan fiction for me, because it kind of, like I said, it disregards, or it kind of delegitimizes Vader and Luke's their whole awesome story arc about, and then how they overcame evil and they killed Sidious, and but then they're like, no, let's bring him back and let's have him shoot God lightning up into the sky, and he can raise any amount of ships from the ground, and just oh my God,
I get you, man.
So I was really hoping, I was just like, man, like I hope we're not tying into that.
Well, I think we are, but I'm hoping it's in a way that's going to make it a little bit more believable.
Yeah,
maybe. So a little bit of like Star Wars lore is like the concept of trying to inject like the Force sensitive blood into another being is not necessarily brand new.
Yeah.
Apparently Cypher Dyas tried to do it with Grievous.
Oh.
In one of the Star Wars Legends stories, and it just totally didn't work. Like Grievous didn't get any Force sensitive powers from it. But
there's other examples though too outside that, and
I think there's some other examples outside that of trying to clone Force sensitive beings or trying to make beings Force sensitive who are not born Force sensitive.
Yeah. Another thing though, too, which I would be okay is if they went down this route, because then it's not going to make me feel like I'm tying into the sequel trilogy or shit on the original trilogy, is we see at the end Moff Gideon is there, and he hears and it turns out the evil mechanic who was 100% evil when we first see him, he ended up putting a tracker on Mando's ship, and so that's obviously going to lead to some problems. They're definitely going to find him and the child at some point here. And he's like, all right, awesome, evil. And he's just standing in this line, and we pan out, and there's all these like black suited things, or I don't know if they're armor pieces, if they're droids. What
they look like dark troopers to me.
Yeah, it looked like the dark troopers, like we see Mando fight at the end of season 1, or like in Rogue One.
They showed them in such a way that it should be like that much more intimidating now.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was like. Are these going to be Force sensitive?
That's
like,
the other thing.
troops.
Are they trying to make them force sensitive through this weird injection process that they've been trying to master?
Are they basically trying to make like an army of Sith? You know, they wouldn't be Sith at this point, you know. They'd be whatever evil Snoke is.
Yeah.
And also we saw Gideon had a Star Destroyer, which we know the First Order comes back. So obviously this seems to me like we're definitely going to get into how these Empire remnants turn into First Order.
I love this, though. I like to see how these residual followers of the Empire, because that was one thing when in Rise of Skywalker, when they say, oh yeah, because Sidious has all these followers still.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, where the heck have they been? Like, you know what I mean? And he has this whole army of like, I don't know how many Star Destroyers they have, and every one of them's filled with people. And it's just like, how many have so many followers? But he's still, a lot of people still believe in the Empire's cause. And we get to see this kind of general. Yeah, we kind of see this general at the end on the Star Destroyer, and it's kind of a cool new one. Mm-hmm. It's got like you got the normal Star Destroyer in the front, then it kind of indents, and then you got like another kind of back part. I don't know. It was a really cool looking one. I like that they had like a new style. But this, I think it was a woman. And she was kind of wearing sort of in between First Order outfit / Empire. It was like sort of a mix of the style of their uniforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is just kind of bridging the gap between somebody who is with the Empire and is now becoming First Order, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to see this kind of organic change from Empire to First Order here in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, because that's another complaint too, I guess I had with even when I first saw Force Awakens, which I liked Force Awakens when I first saw it.
Yeah, I did too.
I was just like, well, where did this First Order come from? Like we ended the Empire, there was a new Republic, and then all of a sudden First Order? Like,
yeah.
So what did we do at the end of the First War? You know what I mean?
I feel like in the original trilogy, we never really get to see the other side of it as far as like a civilian aspect, or we just don't get to see the Empire side of it a lot.
Yeah,
like the people who are stormtroopers on that side, like,
or even generals. What like
we only get to see kind of how
they get out of it.
Yeah, what they get out of it, and like where their families are. If they have families on some other planets, maybe they have like a really good life, and that's what I liked in season 1 of The Mandalorian. Is that what's his name? The guy,
they just call him the client. His character is the client. It's Werner Herzog, the German guy.
Yeah, he explains like we were creating stability in the galaxy. You know, we were like the first to be able to create the stability and infrastructure.
Like chaotic.
And now it's chaotic, like because we're not there. So there is a different point of view. And we don't see that. Yeah. So it's kind of cool that Mandalorian has given us that point of view, giving us the reason why people still follow and might form the First Order for the sequel trilogy. That's a little bit more believable than just these people appearing out of nowhere out of pure evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely, I really like how they're handling it. And you know, I really hope, I don't want to see like a clone of Sidious or even Snoke pop up through this. I wouldn't be surprised if they pop up Snoke. Maybe that was like their plan all along. They're like, well, Snoke's going to get wasted, but he'll show up in one of our Disney Plus series. You know, maybe people will like him then. I'm just like, we got to make the movie solid before we fill out the shows.
Yeah.
What, 5-10 years later? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the movies are done, man. So I don't know.
Yeah.
They got to work with what they got, you know?
Exactly.
So here's the other thing. Here's another crazy theory is that if they are using a force-sensitive blood to create, whether it's these dark troopers or other clones, trying to make them force-sensitive, there's a theory that maybe they have been able to harvest some blood from Luke Skywalker's hand that
got
chopped off in Empire Strikes Back. If that theory, that would be kind of a cool thing if they are going that route, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a waste of a hand, you know? Otherwise, it's just a hand floating out in space somewhere, you know? Like, there's some good force-sensitive blood in that hand.
Gotta use everything.
As long as he didn't have carpal tunnel, then there's probably not enough blood to.
Just think if he did, and he was just like, ah, like that scream he has, like that was like a relief, like ah,
it feels better. Oh, my robot hand's gonna feel so much better than that.
Oh my god, I can't wait for robot hand. You don't get to just have an elective robot hand surgery. It has to be
you have to go to physical therapy first.
Yeah,
it's a pain in the butt because then you have to wait a month to get scheduled for physical therapy. You got to go there for 6 to 8 weeks, and then you can have to schedule out surgery. I don't know, 6 months later. I mean, it is just a mess. And
there's a whole screening process too.
It's a whole screening, especially with COVID now. Like the times it's a mess. And if you have a job where you have to type and you can't work.
That's just prolonging it. It's
prolonging it. So going and getting into a battle where it gets accidentally cut off, I mean, and then they have to give you a new hand. Luke Skywalker's no dummy. Okay, he's no dummy. He goes back into the office. It's the only reason I decided to leave Tatooine. It's hard to pick up power converters when my all right, that was dumb. Where were we? So anyway, the clone thing is pretty. I love that it's getting into this lore. We can start developing theories. We can start talking theories, which is exciting. Yes, is it kind of going to the theories we don't like in Rise of Skywalker? Whatever. Some of my favorite parts of Star Wars is just making up theories about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And absolutely. That's what I love. So I'm excited that they went that direction. They got to escape this place now. And as they're leaving, they're getting confronted by stormtroopers left and right. And as they kind of get to the docking bay, they had noticed one of those, I don't know what the name for it is.
It's like a transport.
Transport, but it's like an armored transport.
Yeah,
it's got some pretty big guns on it. And they are having trouble getting it. Cara Dune takes one for the team and goes over and gets this thing.
So she just drives it, and she tries to drive it back into the building. Yeah,
because this is not a ship.
Mm-mm.
This is more of a speeder, like a hover kind of thing. So you can't fly in the air. It has to be like.
I always wondered, because we saw with the pod racer in episode 1 that even though they float off the ground, you still land eventually. Yeah. But I always wondered, do speeder bikes do other speeders? How do they work? Do they work like ships if you fly up high enough?
I don't think so. Yeah. Oh. So it kind of answered that, which was kind of
cool. That was cool.
These little details, man, for a Star Wars fan, it really gets me going.
It does, man. It does. It helps flesh it out. And these are questions I had when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, I was wondering these things.
Yes. So, yeah, she tries to drive back through, but the doors close. And so she's got to drive off the cliff. And they're like, are you crazy? This thing doesn't fly. You know what I mean? And she just does it. And they land on the dude's ship at the bottom. And he's like, was that my speeder? And
then all the scout troopers get on speeder bikes and go flying down the cliff too.
Don't even get me started.
That was sweet. Don't even get me started. But then they messed it up. They look so cool. They're like, there's cool. Some rocks. Bam! 3 of them die.
Hey, that was realistic though. That was that would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were in a rush. Sweet they felt. They probably heard the Valkyrie song in their head, dun 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 dun.
They heard dun 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 or something.
Oh yeah. They definitely heard some John Williams going.
Yeah,
I take that back. They had John Williams going.
Yeah, and they just there's a narrow rock.
It's when we tried to
hit each other.
when we would try to go to class 2 people wide.
Oh, Steve and I always used to do this, and I don't think anybody ever.
No one ever appreciated.
Nobody ever appreciated it.
But it's always the subtle things.
We'd always go into class and try to walk through the door at the same time and not be able to fit through.
We get stuck together.
And we get stuck in the door, and the people behind us trying to get in would be like.
I think just the people behind us hated us.
And we'd back up out of the doorway and try again, and we'd get stuck again.
And that's what the stormtroopers were like. They're like, "Oh, this will be funny, right, Bob?"
Yeah. Yeah, but when you're going at high speeds like that, but they're going down this steep cliff, man, and they're just got this hovering effect on the rocks that they're going down, so they're not, it's not a safe ride. They got to kind of go in between these rocks. They can't just fly over them. And it looked visually was outstanding.
Oh my god,
some of the best in the Mandalorian yet, I gotta say. It was movie quality.
It was sweet.
It was amazing.
It was so fun too. I mean, and then they chase the ship. Grief and them, they end up like shooting he gets on the guns, he shoots some of them. Kara runs one into the wall.
Yeah, it was great.
Laughs. It was sweet. And
then they get this like sequence. Well, they get this sequence where like this gun is limited. Okay, he can't figure out how to turn it all the way around.
Yeah,
he's still not used to using it, and so he's kind of only been able to go like here to here in front of him. And so these stormtroopers go to the side out of his view. And he still hasn't figured out how to turn the thing around. Smash one into the rocks. The other guy climbs onto the ship, is about to throw a grenade down in it. And he finally like turns around just in time. And
blows him up.
Blows that dude up, man. That was great.
Sweet. This was so sweet. Like it felt like classic Star Wars without feeling like it was too forced or referential. Like how like that one call in last episode where the guy was like, close all the doors. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. But like, it just felt so cool. And then like TIE fighters come and they have just a perfect sound.
And they're in this trench, man.
Yeah.
And the TIE fighters are like trying to like fit into this trench. They're going like single file in, man. Oh, so
and Grief
cool.
Can't hit him. He's just like hitting the cliffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that just looks sweet too. And,
and you can just tell how powerful these TIE fighter blasters are. Like that's gonna hurt if they get hit.
Yeah,
and
they do eventually. They lose the gun.
Yeah, they lose the gun.
But then Mando comes flying in, and
oh man, it was pretty cool entrance.
Oh my God! It was.
By the way, we didn't even talk about how Mando had to jet out of there when they found out that Baby Yoda was the target, that they needed to get the child again. And in my head, I was thinking that Baby Yoda already got taken by that mechanic dude. Turns out, no.
It was pretty sweet how practical that was. He was like, oh, like they're going to want to go get him. Like, I better go there now. Like, I'm not going to wait and do all this.
Everyone understood. Like, use your jetpack and go,
Yeah.
And he does. And Baby Yoda's in there with him, and they're spinning around, and he just takes out these TIE fighters so easy, man. He's so good.
I love Baby Yoda to just go like, woo! Just laugh.
He loves it when Mando kills people.
He's like, yeah, Dad, kill someone. Yeah, woohoo!
And then he throws up from the spinning around too much. Yeah, it was funny.
All those macaroons he's been cramming down for like hours at this point, probably.
Yeah. So Mando saves the day. Mando has a great day. And they go back, and again,
Mando just leaves.
No, he just leaves.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, thanks, guys. Like, I'll see you later.
It's funny to me. The guy put the tracking beacon on, but he does fix his ship to 100%.
He's his best guy. He's
the best guy. He has a job. He has 2 jobs to do.
He's like, I don't want to ruin my integrity. Like, I want to be known as Grief's best guy still.
I still want to be the best guy,
But serve the Empire, people?
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to do that.
That was funny. So
that's when we saw the whole thing at the end when he's like, they get a communication from that guy. They talk to the First Order / Empire woman officer, and then she goes to Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon's just back there, just
yeah. He's just looking mean.
Yeah.
Woo. He's looking mean.
But back on, what's the planet's name again? I keep forgetting.
Navarro?
Back on Navarro, though. They roll into town. They're good. And that one Republic fighter we saw before, see Captain Carson Teva, played by Paul Shan-Hugh Lee. I might have said that wrong, but that's who he plays, though. He shows up and he's interrogating Grief. Karga about, we saw Mando's ship, and he's like, nah, like nah.
Yeah, ships come in here, and those computers are wrong all the time.
Computer chips and such. We don't know about this around here.
Really him? Yeah,
we don't know. And he's like,
and this new Republic guy. I mean, he's no dummy. He's
like, well, we're trying to figure out what's going on around here. You know, something's definitely going on, and then he runs into Cara Dune on the way out.
Yeah,
he's like, hey, like, can we have you back? We know, I was in the fight, outside of Alderaan too. Like, I feel bad, like you, like you should come join us. And he like leaves behind, I don't know if it was a medal or if it was just like the insignia or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like, is she gonna rejoin with the New Republic then at that point, or is she kind of moving on her own way now? Is she doing that? But
well,
I wonder though, like, is this cop just trying to track down Jin again? Which I'm just like, why? You let him go before. Why are you tracking him down?
He's probably. I mean, I'm sure.
Or is he just trying to connect the dots between him and what he thinks is the Empire? Because what we hear
he's
too,
trying to connect. I mean, obviously, he's probably investigating this huge explosion too on this planet.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah.
I
feel like he realizes there's something going on that's outside of the Republic's control right now. He doesn't know what it is.
And they mentioned that, Grief says earlier in this episode when he's first shown around the town, he's just like, oh, you ran into New Republic guys? Like, why are they even trying to police the Outer Rim, which is the area they're in, like the outside, far away from the core, like Coruscant planets in the galaxy? He's like, why do they even try? Like, the Empire couldn't police us out here. Why are they trying?
Right.
And so now so that kind of like, at the time, I thought it was just another jab at the New Republic. But now, to me, it seems like what we're learning here is now that this Empire / First Order, these Empire remnants, maybe this is like how logically they were able to develop. They're out in these Outer Rim worlds. The New Republic is trying to restore order just to the core worlds right now.
Right.
And meanwhile, Empire is just growing outside of everyone's knowledge, out into the Outer Rim, So I was like, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. This episode brought a lot of kind of stuff that gets your mind going.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot to think about for us diehard Star Wars fans.
Yeah. It was written by Jon Favreau. So pretty much anytime you see something I think is written by Jon Favreau, I think that's like the main Mandalorian plot line is what it's going to be is, the Empire, Baby Yoda, stuff like that. And I think Dave Filoni is going to be more of like the referential guys or the even like the Clone Wars stuff or tying in with that stuff.
Yeah.
Or the other extended universe character people. So that's pretty cool. We got some Mandalorian culture stuff in the last episode to help push the plots, and Ahsoka and the Jedi, and now we're getting the Empire and that stuff in this one.
Getting all these questions answered here in those last couple episodes. I think we can look forward to an epic. I'm getting my hopes up, but I think we can look forward to an epic episode coming up with Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, Dave Filoni goes all out, so
I can't wait to watch this after having a nice big Thanksgiving dinner too the day before. You know what I mean? Just sitting down watching some Mando.
Oh man,
I'm psyched. I'm pumped.
I'm psyched, man. Otherwise, please, we hope you're enjoying these talks on The Mandalorian. I'll check out our other Star Wars talks if you're into it. We'll continue covering these week by week. I'm going to sneeze. And please subscribe, and if you like what you see, leave a like, and tell us what you thought of this episode and what you think. Tell us your theories. What do you think is going to happen?
This is the way.
This is the way.
Bow.